Hello there, and welcome to another of Carul's writing podcasts, where I outline my experience of the various different sort of publishing, promotion and marketing tools that are out there to help you get read and, if you so choose, also to get paid for your efforts and your work and commitment to your writing craft. Today I'm going to talk about Wattpad. Not yesterday, but in the previous podcast I talked about Scribophile. These are two similar services, websites and communities, and I'm going to let you know a little bit today about how I've experienced and gotten on with Wattpad. Now, I'm not going to give you a long detailed history of Wattpad. I believe it's been out for several years. From what I looked at, there seem to be people who were on it since about 2007, people 2011, and now we're in 2016. So it's been going for a while, but I think probably the big numbers it has of like sort of 40 million user, I think that's probably in the most recent few years. So a big community, a very social sort of website by the sort of looks of it and from my use of it so far, but certainly a group or a community that is largely younger in its demographic. You've kind of got everyone from sort of 13 to sort of 18 and 19, and they're predominantly the users of this site. Though there is some older people, and they make a point, Wattpad and other services, of saying that Margaret Atwood's on the website. So I guess that's something. But my experience so far of it has been that the people are quite young. I mean, I'm sort of a granddad in there, and I'm only 30. And there is a handful of people that I've met so far that'd be a bit older, like a bit myself, or even kind of 30 years older than me. But essentially, this is a young person's website and probably targeting YA, young adult sort of people. So if you've got that kind of book, this is probably more for you. If you're and you're trying to gain some readers, if you're looking for critiques, probably Scribophile. But anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's get into what I've been doing. I've done so far. Well, I've put together my little profile, and I've been sort of scouting around the clubs. They have a bunch of clubs that are related to genre, as well as kind of related to, say, multimedia design. People can help you with your cover in exchange for maybe a critique or something, or some comments on their books. There's also sort of a general discussion cafe where people kind of talk about whatever they feel like. Either the one group I saw was discussing the low standards of Wattpad books. Another one lady was asking people to say what they're listening to at that moment in time, what music. Other people were talking about kind of broken up with, and all sorts of stuff. So it's there's a reasonable amount of variety to these discussions and clubs. And so far I've been dipping my toe in a bit, but not a hell of a lot, but a bit. And then there's been a bit of messaging back and forth. I got in touch with some people because in one group I had seen that people were saying they weren't getting many critiques, they weren't getting many comments, and that the readers, the number of people reading their stuff had fallen, and they didn't really know if their stuff was very good. So I got in touch with them. I gave them a 15-minute audio review, whatever I could read in 15 minutes. I sent them an audio of that and said, in return, would you please share my book and the link to it with some people you felt would be interested in. So that's something I did. And the other thing I've done is upload one of my novelettes called Sycamore. I'm going to release that for promotional purposes. We'll talk about that at some other stage, but I've uploaded sections of that for people to view and comment on, and I'm going to let you know now what the result of that has been. Okay, so as I said, I put up a bunch of posts or chapters or parts, as they're called in Wattpad, of this Sycamore novelette. Now it's not going to win a Pulitzer, it's not going to win the Booker Prize. It's very much just a joke in terms of like it's a humorous short story, not a joke in terms of being laughably bad, or at least hopefully not. The reaction to it so far has been, well, very minor to say the least. There's a great many books, novels, etc., pieces of art, works of written effort on this website, some with as many as 50,000 views or reads, but mine so far, as of this date, the 20th of February, has 15 reads, 3 comments and 3 stars. Now, those are primarily coming from 2 people who I had been in touch with and I had left comments for. So if you're expecting Wattpad to bring viewers to you, at least my experience has been that is not the case. The majority of people who've read it are people who I've gotten in touch with and kind of commented on their stuff. That's fair enough, and that's grand, but it does leave me wondering how I'm going to get a massive amount of readers who will be interested in my novelette and then kind of promote it once it's released. If I have to spend sort of 15 to 20 minutes reading someone else's stuff and commenting on it, it's going to cut down on the amount of time that I can spend on anything else. I mean, to get one read and one comment, you got to spend about 20 minutes, at least that's my experience so far, in order to have the chance of doing that. I mean, the person you comment on doesn't necessarily have to give you any comments back. So 15 reads, 3 comments and 3 stars. I originally put this up so that I could try and gain some readers and followers and fans of this particular Sycamore novelette, because I want to use it as a promotion of other material that I'm going to release further down the line. I'm looking to release a novella called Splutter in May. I thought I'll put this out. It's probably to a younger demographic, but because it's kind of funny, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's a bit ironic, satirical, there might be an interest from younger people to have a read of it. It was certainly the sort of thing I might have read myself at the time, so I thought, put it out there. So far, not so much traction. Other people have commented on this sort of thing, and it seems, at least from what I've read from very, like only a couple of hours of reading what other people's experience of the website has been, that there seems to be a lot of clickbait books, things that are kind of put up because there's a popularity just at that moment, or there's a certain star who's very in the limelight at the moment, and if you put anything up that kind of is associated with them, even if it's only a picture, probably a lot more people are going to click on it. But the quality, at least according to some people, of these sort of 50,000 read books is that they're not all that good in some cases. But that just means that the person probably has clicked on it. They haven't done a tremendous amount of reading of it. They might have read the first paragraph and decided it was awful and leave. So the idea that maybe these 50,000 reads are like everyone loves them might not be the case. They might just have been clicked into. But at least in contrast to my own, it's a bit disappointing, but at the same time it's not hugely surprising. In terms of what sort of comments you can get, and this is a major difference between sort of Wattpad and Scribblefile, comments you get might end up being fairly short. There might be 1 or 2 points that someone makes, but there's not a tremendous amount of feedback. Sort of think not 125 words or 500 words or 1,000 words, think more kind of 20 words. Now, in one of the cases, someone pointed out 2 sort of mistakes I'd made. I had said recorder producer instead of record producer, and while I liked the idea of someone specifically producing recorder music, ultimately what I had been meaning to say was record producer, so that caught it for me. I hadn't caught that myself, and so that was much appreciated. So that's, there has been benefits to putting it up, but if you're really looking for critique, you're looking for help and an assessment of your work, I don't think, based on my experience so far, that Wattpad is going to give you that. It seems to be a more social website, even though Scribophile does have groups, there's people you can talk with, I've spoken with people. I think that this Wattpad is very much tied in with sort of the socializing element. It's sort of a mix of Scribophile and Facebook, but with the Scribophile being far better at giving you an assessment of your work, and some people complaining that Wattpad doesn't really do that. Now, that's only some people. You can tell me in the comments below if you found it's very useful for getting information out there and also getting people to tell you about your work. It hasn't been my experience, but I'm very new to it. It hasn't been the experience of some of the people in the groups or threads that I've looked at. But there's obviously people who have developed a lot, and I'd say the moderators, the ambassadors, who have really given themselves into Wattpad in terms of energy, output, the work that they've done on. I'm sure they've developed as writers. So if you are one of these kind of people, let us know what came of it. But I think largely it's about putting your stuff out there, threading the board for the first time, dipping your toe in the water, and then being given that kind of confidence to just share your very first efforts in writing, and then being able to socialize and chat with people online based on that. So I think that's what it's for. It's for a younger demographic, it's for socializing as much as dipping your toe into the writing world, and that's the main benefits I can see so far from it. I think that we'll leave it there for now, because I haven't got much more to say without repeating myself. If you liked what you heard, if it was helpful in some way, check out the links to my other stuff. If you found it really useful, maybe you could consider giving a donation through PayPal, Gumroad, or Patreon. The links are all below. So without any further ado, I will wish you a very good day. Take care of yourselves and each other. Goodbye.